right, guys, welcome back to How to Hunt, Episode 2. Episode 1 was all about how to get into hunting legally, starting with hunter's ed, purchasing tags, so on and so forth. So here we are in Episode 2, and it is application season. If you guys are watching this after application season, whenever you're watching it, application season usually opens up in mid-April and closes mid-May. The deadline in 2024 is May 22nd. I'm going to go over hunting applications. This is something that you do not need to do, something that you're not required to do here in the state of Washington. The application season is strictly for limited entry draws. There's all sorts of stuff like senior hunting, youth hunting, master hunting, just regular citizens of Washington state. There's handicap. There's all sorts of different applications and special hunts that you can apply for. And they're broken down by species and then another category of the quality of that hunt. So there's bull tag, there's quality bull tag, then there's buck tag, quality buck tag, there's ewes, there's cow moose, there's cow elk, there's second deer, there's all sorts of stuff, and I'm going to walk through those right now. So if you're new, go back, watch episode 2, or if you've already got this stuff and you're kind of just wanting to watch how someone applies, then welcome aboard. This is going to be a lengthy one, I would quite imagine. This is going to be a little bit more time consuming, but I'm going to go through it very thoroughly, and hopefully you guys at the end of this understand our point system and how to apply for tags here in the state of Washington. I might get stuff wrong. I don't know. Bear with me. So let's get into it. Here we go. All right, first up, we're going to have to jump right into WDFW's website once again. We're going to click on the hunting tab at the top right, and then scroll down to buy a license. Once we do that, you're going to click on your recreational. Okay, once you land here, you're going to be finding your homepage, special hunts. Okay, here we are. We click on special hunts at the bottom, make sure we're on 2024, and then we're going to click purchase a special hunt application. Once we are here, it's going to prompt you to purchase all of your tags and licenses that you need to have in your bucket before you're able to apply for the limited entry stuff. So let's go with a quick example of everything down here. We're going to go for, first off, we're going to start with your once in a lifetime. So we're going to do add a special hunt ram, and that's $13.20. We're going to go to, so there's your moose handicapped or disabled. Sorry, I don't know what word we're supposed to use these days. So your disabled permits get you a different type of allotment for special tags if you meet the requirements of being disabled, of course. We're going to go with any antlered bull moose. So you're adding all this to your cart. You're going to do quality elk. I'm going to buy your elk license and tag. And then we're going to go up to application bull elk. Going to do that. And then probably do antlerless elk if you want to shoot a cow. Quality deer. And then I want my second deer. And then I want my buck deer. And then I want antlerless deer. And your mountain goat. And that looks like it's it. Okay, first off, you have to purchase all of your tags and licenses. Once you have all of your tags and licenses purchased, you have to go then submit those special hunt applications. And what that looks like is something like this. You have to scroll down to your special hunts tab. Look at your special hunts tab. Now, this is only due because I have purchased those applications, right? So you go into your tags and your licenses. You make sure you have your deer tag on your elk hunt. You chose east or west, and then a weapon. And then for your deer hunt, you have to choose a weapon: modern, firearm, archery, or muzzleloader. Once you do that, then it opens you up to purchase your quality elk, your buck deer, your quality deer, your bull elk, antlerless elk. All those things are opened after you choose your side of the state and your weapon, if that makes sense. So now, it does cost quite a bit of money to purchase the applications. Once you purchase the applications, you are not done. You then have to submit those applications. And what I mean by submit is you have to go in and actually click submit and then choose the hunt, the limited entry hunt that you want to apply for. Just purchasing the application does nothing. You actually have to submit that hunt to be able to gain a point and to enter the drawing, if that makes sense. So now what I like to do is I like to open up another tab of WDFW. So then I go down to hunting again, and then I click on big game hunt seasons and regulations. And I'm going to click on big game, and then I want the special rules and regulation pamphlet. And that's this screen right here, okay? Let's go back to WDFW, and I'm going to click on the very first one. I'm just going to work top down. 2024 sheep any ram. You're going to click on submit, and then I'm going to do individual, group member, or group leader. So this means if I'm going to apply as a group, like if you're going to apply with your buddies or your wife or whoever it may be, you're going to go in as an individual, a group member, and then they will give you the group party number, or you're going to be a group leader, which means I'm going to be the leader of the group, and then your buddies are going to get your party number, and they're going to go in together with you, or just one person, whatever it is. In this case, I'm going to go individual. I'm going to click on individual and hit next. And now it says I have 4 choices with a drop-down list and a bunch of names. Let's say I have no idea what these are or what these mean. Now I have to refer back to the 2024 big game regulations, and that is this tab. This is why I like to have another tab open. And let's say I need to look for that sheep. Bighorn sheep permits, page 75. So let's just go to 75, and that took me to mountain goat. I'm sure sheep is right in here somewhere. Bighorn sheep special permits, right here on page 77. So here are our options for the Bighorn sheep special permits. So now you have to correlate these applications, these tag units, these these sheep units, the dates, and the amount of permits given out, and the average points it took to draw last year into account when you're submitting your tag. So let's just say I want to apply for the unit that gives out the most tags, which is Clemens Mountain. That is 4 permits, and it is October 1st to the 31st. I'm going to go back and apply for Clemens Mountain. And this is what I'm going to do for every species, going back and forth between my applications and the pamphlet. So let's do that. So I'm going to go in with sheep, any ram, Clemens Mountain. And then let's say I want to do, for... You can also do and get creative and do the shooting for the stars as your number 1 choice in case you were to get drawn very first. You want that tag. You can do whatever you want. Just know that your points here in Washington State are squared. Every year you apply for a tag, every year that you apply for a special permit, you are gaining a point. And then Washington State, for whatever reasons, decides to square our points. And then you are going in with that many names in the hat, if you will. The number that you see, how many points you have, is not really how many names in the hat you are going in with. So if you go in with 10 points, we square those in Washington, which means 10 times 10. You're going in with 100 names in that hat, not 10. So that's how Washington kind of gets super congested, and it realistically is like, well, it's any given year you may draw. So if you got 5, you're really going in with 25 names in the hat. So it's quite interesting. A lot of states around the West are different. Washington is very difficult. I think some of the states have a better system overall. Our point system is quite flawed. The draw odds are absolutely horrendous in this state, which is quite disheartening and frustrating. But it is what it is, and it's what we have to deal with here in Washington. So you do with what you choose with that information. I apply every year. I throw my name in the hat every year because you got to play to win. I want to play. I want to win. I want to hunt. I want to draw my moose, my sheep, my goat, my quality bull, which I did in 2016, sorry. I drew in 2016 with 14 points. So that's how much it takes here in the state. But it's going to take even more now because the tag that I put in for now has way fewer tags than when I drew. Back to applications. So I'm going to change that up, and I'm going to go for one of the Chelan Buttes or even the Swakane unit. I mean, it's no secret. Here they are. All these tags are going to be really fun. The Clement Mountain one, I have some experience in there. My buddy shot one out of there in 2017. Most of these are probably all going to be just slam dunks, like 100% success rate, just because they're so few tags, they're so unpressured, so used to humans. If you were to draw, you're probably guaranteed your sheep. Now you're basically picking the view that you want to have when you are harvesting your sheep, is basically what I'm getting at. Maybe the new Wanaha could be super difficult and stressful on the human body. I'm sure it's pretty deep and nasty in there where those sheep live. That might be the only one that's actually true wilderness and is kind of crazy to get to. Other than that, maybe most of these aren't very crazy. But let's apply. I'm going to change this up to Swakane number 1. I'm going to go to Chelan A, Chelan B, and then Clement Mountain, just because I like those. Okay, and then we're going to hit next and submit. So now I'm officially entered for those hunts right now. Now I'm submitted. Now I'm going to gain a point, and now I'm in the drawing. If you do not do this, you are not in the drawing, you are not in the hat, and you have 0% chance of drawing that tag. And this is going to continue on. So now I'm going to drop down to, let's just do quality elk because I love elk and I want to draw it. So now you only have 2 choices, and you notice that a lot of these are repeats because there's different hunt codes for the weapon that you are hunting with. So if you are archery, it's going to be one of these early ones, or it's going to be a different code than it is. Let me restart that. If you're archery, it's going to be a different hunt code than muzzleloader. It's going to be a different hunt code than modern firearm. How do we find out? You got to go back to the pamphlet, right? So let's go back to the pamphlet and let's do quality elk. All right, here we go. Quality elk hunts. Page 53. We're going to go through and look for what weapon I have, which I'm choosing modern firearm on the east side of the state. That's what the EF is for. It's modern firearm on the east side. So east firearm. And so I'm going to pick one of these hunts to apply for. All right, something to note here is that there's a difference between bull elk and quality elk. Gets lots of questions. What's the difference of these? The difference is the time of year that you are going to be hunting. Your quality elk is designated to be or designed to be your quality experience, the top tier, your absolute once in a lifetime, if you will. Nowadays, they might be a once in a lifetime just because there's so few tags. It's designed to have that peak experience. During the rut is the mating season for elk. So the elk are very active, very vocal, and very fun to communicate with and very fun to hunt. The bull elk tag is late October into November, which they're post-rut. They're very nocturnal-ish. They're coming down into the nasty stuff. Sun comes up, they're hiding in the trees. Sun goes down, they kind of come out. That's what I mean by nocturnal. Just really hiding and smart and just getting into the deep, dark canyons, that kind of stuff. Harder to hunt. Okay, so the difference of quality deer and buck deer is also just the time of year. Your quality deer is that peak experience during the rut, November 1st to the 20th, and your buck deer is going to be kind of the same time frame, but just less quality of tags. So let's just say you want to hunt your buck deer is going to be for whitetail deer in a predominantly mule deer rich zone, if that makes sense. So the Methow Valley is like the state's premier mule deer rich environment, and they do not have buck deer tags for mule deer, if that makes sense. So the buck deer tags for the Methow Valley, all those northeastern or north central units are for whitetails, which could be really fun tags to hunt now that the whitetails population is expanding and there's a lot more whitetails roaming the areas in like Sinlehekin, Peregrine, Gardner, Alta, Pogue, 204, Okanagan East, all those over there. There's whitetail tags in that general area. As you move over towards the northeast side of the state or southeast side of the state or central part of the state, there's also more buck deer tags for those units for whitetails. There's not a lot of buck deer for mule deers, but you can go and check them out. So let's go check out buck deer. Special hunt application for buck deer. If you just take a look at these, let's do modern firearm. You have not a ton, maybe 15, 20 to choose from. So you got Lick Creek, which is southeast corner, East Okanagan, Sinlehekin, Chewak, Peregrine, Gardner, Pogue, Chillowaist, Alta, Ritzville. So all of those right there are very predominantly mule deer tags or mule deer units. And notice it says any white-tailed buck. So you're hunting a predominant mule deer unit for any whitetail buck. That's the difference of quality deer and buck deer. Still could be a very fun hunt. Some of these units do have decent whitetail numbers and decent whitetail bucks. The caveat is that with the quality deer tag, you are allowed to take any species of deer. So the quality deer tag is going to be a better tag to have overall, but it's going to be harder to draw, and there's going to be less, or it's going to be more restrictive on the buck deer side. So you can't take both species or whatever you're applying for. So just read up on these. That's the general overview of buck deer versus quality deer. It's unit and time frame, which most of these are all the same time frame for buck and quality. Like they're both November 1 through the 20th for these more premier hunts for the mule deers. Let's go over to quality deer and I'll show you the season dates for that. Okay, quality deer hunts. Let's just go down to some of those that we just were looking at, which is East Okanagan, Sinlehekin, Chewak, Peregrine, November 1st to the 20th, any buck. So that's the difference I was talking about. They're pretty much the same time frames depending on the particular units. The only difference is the species of animal that you're going to be chasing. So whitetail or any buck really with the quality. All right, guys, we're going to jump down to antlerless elk. So I'm going to go over to my regulations pamphlet and I'm going to go over to antlerless elk. It's on page 57 is your antlerless elk. And you're going to be going through, again, on the hunt applications, on the regulations pamphlet, you're going to be looking for the hunt choice code that you want to apply for, and then you go back to your application and enter that code. So for antlerless elk hunts, I'm going to be looking for something that interests me, that I like, and I'm going to apply for that. All right, let's do our mountain goat application. So hit submit on the bottom right-hand corner, and then you're going to hit individual, and then next, and then go ahead and pick your goat tag that you want when you're applying for your once-in-a-lifetime hunt. Once in a lifetime means in Washington State, you only get one mountain goat ever in your life in the state of Washington. That's mountain goat, sheep, and moose. If you draw that tag and harvest your sheep, goat, or moose, you are done. You can never relive that experience. The next person in line is up and your hunt's over. That's why these are so coveted and these so sought after, is because you only get them once in your life. So make them count. Make sure you're always getting your name in the hat. In case you get it, you're the lucky person. You get to go hunt a once in a lifetime experience. Okay. So now you guys can see that I have completed my applications. I am all submitted on the right-hand side. They all say unsubmit, which means that I am fully submitted for those special hunt applications. That is really it for your special hunt applications. If you want to go over here and see how many points you have, it's on the left-hand side. Go down to special hunt points, and you'll see that you have all of your points. All right, guys, that is it for this episode. It was just walking you through special hunt applications here in the state of Washington. Our system is a little bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty nice. The trick of bouncing back and forth between your pamphlet and your applications really does help. I didn't walk you through all the species just because there's got to be some secrecy in hunting. You can't know what I'm applying for in all those, but that's how I apply in the state of Washington for my special hunts. If you guys have any questions, please drop down in the comments below. I'm having a blast making these, and I just can't wait for the future episodes. Next up, I'm going to be diving into e-scouting, what I'm looking for, how to use it, the platforms that I use, whether it be Google, Go Hunt, and other things that you can utilize on how to do your e-scouting. There's some forums and stuff that I like to take a peek at for fall bear, maybe elk stuff. You never know. So coming up is e-scouting tips, tactics, and the systems and programs that I use. I've had a blast so far. If you guys have questions for me or stuff that you want to see or something to come back and touch on, please let me know down in the comments. Until then, we will catch you on the mountain. Thanks for watching.